Welcome back to Charade Mayhem. Well, pushed it in the corner for 2 weeks, just trying to figure out what we're doing here. Went to the Strathalbyn swap meet and managed to find myself a manual. Just for pure sort of interest, I was just reading how to remove the engine. Carefully raise and maneuver engine transaxle assembly into a position where I can get it out, basically. Well, considering there's no head on this, and so if I do a bit of a eyeballing, what have we got? 3 fingers there. I'm going to say the clutch. Surely the clutch wouldn't be any deeper than that. I reckon we could jam this dog out without taking the gearbox out. That'll save us a bit of room on the floor. Get it on a stand and see what's going on. Trouble is, I can't order anything until I figure out what size rings are in it. From what I was looking at on Google, which is always correct, there's 2 different sizes of rings. I'm not sure why, whether that's just a, model by model, year by year, or this is what they had in the warehouse and that's what was going in the vehicle, and every vehicle was just random. So gonna pull it out, put it on the stand, see what rings we got, see how bad the bearings are while we're at it, and try and reassess that bore, see if the pistons are actually any good either. We'll go from there. Don't know if I showed that last time, but I don't know if you can see in that hose. It's basically just full to the brim with sludge. So, when you overheat the motor, especially something this old, been sitting around, get a bit of scale in the block, and when you get it hot, it just pushes it around, and I'd say it's probably jammed up the heater core, and in this case it looks like the heater core going by, there's your water pump bypass or suction to radiator. Oh, that's not great either. But this is all main sort of feed. It's not sort of just dragging off the side of the head. I think it actually circulates through here, and it needs this circuit to run properly. A lot of cars like Subarus and stuff like that, you get a blocked heater core and causes all sorts of havoc. So we'll get it out, check it, probably take the heater core out, take the radiator out. I do have another radiator, it's just mildly different, but we can make something work. We'll go from there. Probably just put you on time lapse, because don't know if this is going to take 20 minutes or it's going to take an hour. So yeah. Motor's out. As you can see, that was not the most convenient way of getting it out. Clutch was probably 1 finger width more than I thought. Yep, and that made it hard. I guess that just means that the OEM manual is not lying. Maybe I should have just pulled the gearbox out or dropped it out the bottom like they said. Either way, it's out, and I didn't physically damage anything. I wonder if this has ever had a clutch. Maybe. Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. It's small. It's really small. Like, my hand covers 2 and a bit pistons. Yeah. Well, I might mount on the engine stand, and yeah, we'll go from there. It was a bit more of a struggle than it needed to be, but I'm just waiting for Slim to bring an engine stand. So I had this janky old one, and basically mistakes were made when I was younger. I did not think, so it would have had like a, you know, 1/2 inch little spout on there. That stops the bolt from hitting on everything, and I'm not sure why, but I cut that off. Maybe the bolts I had weren't long enough. So I made it work. It's not horrendous. It's not going to break anything. In all honesty, yeah, preschool child could probably lift this thing. It's pretty pretty small. So I'll leave it at that for now. Do a full strip down, see where we're at, and then we can order everything. Hopefully the bores are not as severe as we think. I mean, they're bad. They're bad. I can feel the pitting, but you know, can I turn this into a going to town rig sort of thing? Not going to go too far with it. Hopefully. Should show you how small this clutch is. Like, I've seen small clutches. That's ridiculous. Like, I can almost cover it with my hand. And it's not on rivets, but yeah, it's almost flattened off. It has had a clutch. Someone scuffed it up. So might as well give it a birthday while we're out, get it machined, get a new clutch, and yeah, give it the works, mate. Alright, engine tear down. See what's going on, eh? Hopefully it won't take too long. It's not very big. years. Alright, as you can see, got the pistons out, partly dismantled. So basically, I mean, this is not piston related but engine related. You can see a bit of a mark there. I can just feel a few of the little marks with my fingernail. All the others are fine, so might get away with just a light linish on that. I'll have to take that, get it checked, get it measured. The other ones, I mean, bearing material, you can't really see, it's too bright, but bearing material on these two are okay. This one here has picked up, but it hasn't ruined the crank, which is good. The piston itself is quite clean. I think most of the scrape marks are actually from me taking it out of the bore because I was lazy. I didn't take off the carbon ring at the top, but skirts aren't the worst. You can see that little bit dark, so compression's been going past it a little bit. And these rings are frozen. One of them moves, but the middle one a little bit frozen. But I think the pistons will clean up fine. We can put rings and bearings in that. We can measure the crank and possibly just get it linished. Just have to see what these mains are like. I think maybe someone might have had it apart just by looking at a few things. It's good, like it looks like it's been done well, but you can see a few of the head to the bolts have been undone and whatnot. And I just gotta have a look in the book and see what sort of clearance is supposed to be here, whether we need to replace gears and whatnot. The gear itself, yeah, it looks like it's starting to go through the hardening a bit, but there's just a little bit backlash. I mean, this car is not high RPM, so not super worried. Oh, I think this is a it's not a plastic gear, but a Bakelite. So for you people that may not have ever heard of that, early days, pre-80s, probably right up until early 90s even, they made some of these counter gears out of Bakelite. Holden 202s and 186s, they had Bakelite cam gears, so they did used to shatter. I mean, this thing wouldn't hardly produce any torque really, so you're not going to break anything. But the Bakelite gear stops the steel gear getting chewed out and vice versa. You can upgrade them to an aluminium gear on the 202s and whatnot, so I imagine you'd be able to do that with this. It's just a balance shaft, but I mean, these things run rough as they are, so obviously it needs a balance shaft. So have a look into that. Luckily I've got the book for the job now, mate, so we're all good on that front. I'll get this crank out and we'll assess that. Right, look at this. Tech tip: undo these bolts before you bolt it to your janky ass engine crane, engine stand. You can't get to them afterwards. Come on. Come on, you bugger. There we go. That's clean. So that's a good start. That's also very clean. Might have caught this at the right time. Come on. Boy, that's tight. Resist the pry bar. Oh boy. Come on, you devil. Come on. There we go. That's good as well. Last but not least, that one's clean as well. Obviously we're putting new bearings in, but the fact that it hasn't worn through any of the layers, it's just barely sort of dusted it. There goes the thrust washers. I mean, if you were really tight, you didn't want to spend 20 bucks putting bearings in it, you could probably reuse them, but so it's just putting a few marks, but they're okay. Right. Switch off for a minute. I'll get the bores cleaned up and wait for a look at that, eh? It's ugly. I'm gonna have to see. I don't know if you see that patch there. That, I don't know how to explain that, is pitted. It's almost like emery tape, like emery paper. It feels like emery paper there. And I think it's probably because the piston was sitting there with water for a while, so it's just you know, etched into it. So I'm not sure. Generally speaking, honing a cylinder doesn't take material out of the bore. It just cleans it up and gives somewhere for the oil to sit. Helps turn the piston rings and whatnot. You can get those big Sun and Hone machines. They do have a bit more aggressive stones, which may take enough material out to make it okay. I don't really want to oversize or anything like that, because it's just, I mean, it's a Charade. I'm just going to be using the thing to drive to the shops and maybe to the airport and whatnot. It's nothing too special, so gonna have to leave this one with me for a minute. Hopefully not too long of a minute. Try and figure out what the best option is. We can go from there. Well, we'll call it quits at that. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's not a real good conclusion yet. I mean, I can't tell you, yeah, we're going to slap rings and bearings in it, because I don't think we can yet. So I'll get you posted though, and we'll sort it out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.